Stay tuned and let's take a look at this Marvel Legends free pack with Venom, Riot and Agony. Pow and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And remember now you can hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Today we are taking a look at this Marvel Legends free pack with Venom, Riot and Agony. Now I believe this is an Amazon exclusive. I've had mine for a little while now. I got mine from In Demand Toys, but I'm finally gonna open it today. As you know me, when it comes to collecting, I love world building, recreating that Marvel universe in plastic for our displays. And with the addition of Riot and Agony, we can finally complete the Life Foundation Symbiotes, and we also quite possibly get the best representation of Venom in plastic as well, at least his comic form. So I am looking forward to this one. This is also the best example of plastic free packaging we can get with the original art on the front, so really appreciate that. The box was smaller than I expected though, that's for sure. On the back of the box we get free write-ups for all the characters, starting with Venom. Captured by the Life Foundation and subjected to excruciating experiments, Eddie Brock finds himself forcefully separated from Venom as his captors seek to harvest the symbiote's offspring. Agony. Unique amongst her symbiote siblings, Agony possesses all the same abilities as her siblings with the added power to spit deadly acid. Riot. One of the 5 symbiote siblings harvested from Venom by the Life Foundation, the Riot symbiote shows predilections for hammers and other bludgeoning weapons. To be fair, that's not a bad breakdown, but of course I will explain the Life Foundation symbiote further. But first, let's get them out of the box. And here we have Venom, Agony and Riot out of the packaging with all of their accessories on the table. And as you can see, not a lot to be completely honest. Agony comes with a set of fisted hands, so does Venom, and Riot comes with his interchangeable blade. We do get 2 interchangeable heads for Venom, however, and they are very nice. This whole pack is just reuse. We've basically got the Scream body, the Monster Venom body, and then the Omega Red body. We have got Venom on this body before, but it was the animated Venom, and they didn't quite fill in all the holes, etc. So this is definitely an upgrade. So I'm not mad at it, as these are great representations of the particular characters. Did I need Riot to be so big? Not really, not myself. And I also picture him being more grey than blue, which is what he is here. But we are going to look at these individually one by one. And of course, we will do all the comparisons. But let's start off with the main event. Let's start with Venom. So starting with Eddie, here he is with all of his accessories. Let me move them out of the way. And as I mentioned, he is on the same body as Omega Red, which is that bigger, bulkier body with the real deep butterfly joint. So it definitely allows him for more range and articulation. It's a decent scale as well in comparison to other Legends. If I bring the tape measure in, you can see that he stands at like over 7 inches. So it's about 7¼ inches tall, which for Venom is a decent size. So again, let me take out Omega Red just for a second and bring in the other Venom bodies and the symbiote Spider-Man and Venom, for example. So you can see how the sort of scale differs between the 3. Of course, Peter Parker's a smaller body, but if I move these in order, you can see how we've slowly got a scaled up Venom. And in the comics, he's drawn differently, proportionally he's always different, but I do think this Omega Red body is definitely so much more imposing than the previous one. Let me take that out of the way and you can see for yourself, that's a much better comparison for me from Spider-Man to Venom, at least as a standard look. But it is all about these new head sculpts. Let's zoom in. So this half transforming Eddie Brock Venom head sculpt is definitely the highlight for me and will be what I'll use on display. Of course it will. Look at this. So from this side, you can see Venom's face and the mouth wide open with all the teeth, and then this sort of separate piece of softer plastic sort of sticking out from the body. And if I spin it around, you can see Eddie Brock here. I like the expression, and again you can see all the Venom symbiote, which is a thicker sort of black sludgy plastic that goes over the original Eddie Brock face sculpt. So there is that sort of element of dimension there where the face sculpt is sort of covering the face, and yeah, just really like it, people. You can see the tongue as well is that sort of dark maroon red. The teeth are a slightly different shade of white white as well, and there's a glossy whiteness to the eye. You can see all the creases as well sculpted in there. I think this is a Paul Hardin's head sculpt, so bravo. You can see a little bit of black symbiote sludge on the eye above the eyebrow there. But yeah, all in all, really nicely done. And as well, you can see that they have plugged in those holes that were on the first attempt of Venom on this body. So they've just given us a bit of symbiote sort of sticking out, which is much better than the holes, but granted, it is just a bit of symbiote sticking out. But it does add to this effect for the head sculpt ultimately, which is really nice. So if you don't want this half transforming Eddie Brock head sculpt for the display, of course, we do get an option with a fully transformed Venom head sculpt. And look at this. This has to be one of the best Venom head sculpts we have gotten in Marvel Legends. Both of them are. This is really nicely done. The tongue is sticking out and like sort of sweeps up, and it's a soft plastic, but it's hard enough where it's going to keep its shape on display. We can sort of see it dangling out of the mouth there. So yeah, really nice. Again, the teeth are like an off-white, and then the eyes themselves are a little bit more glossy compared to the white that's on the emblem, for example. But yeah, this is really nicely done. And even though it's just all black plastic, there are definitely sculpted sort of creases, and then just really, really nicely done. So really like this. So when you can compare the two, it is a really hard choice here what head sculpt you use, where you've got the regular Venom head with the tongue sweeping out, or you've got the half transforming Eddie Brock head. And it is just a hard choice. It really is. Both of these are really solid Venom head sculpts for our Marvel Legends display. Two of the best, if not the best. Which one are you going to use on this body? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're like me and you can't decide between which head sculpt you like and you want to use both on your display, then you've probably got another Venom in the collection just like I have. And we've got multiple different heads between all of these releases now to pick from. I've always liked the one with the green sort of slime on the tongue here. And I also like this one with the Eddie Brock head and then the sort of symbiote sweeping out. So I'm sure between the three of these and all the interchangeable pieces here, we can sort of mix and match. So let me just try real quick one of these new heads on the old body. First up, I'll put this half Venom, half Eddie Brock transforming head on this old body that had this symbiote sludge sort of plugged into the back here. And yeah, this works really nice. Now the head does sit a little low on the peg, but I do think because of all the symbiote sludge around, you can sort of get it to work as a transforming Eddie to Venom face sculpt for the display. And again, just to mix it up a little bit. I also like the completely unmasked Eddie Brock head on this Venom body, as we see it quite a lot in the comics, and you can see how broader and thicker he is with this head sculpt on there. I think it proportionately looks a little odd, but also looks right for Venom, as that is how he is drawn with their Eddie Brock head on this sort of muscular, monstrous body. And if you do have that sort of sludgy Venom piece from the other one, you can sort of just put it around the neck and sort of use the two Venom pieces that stick out of the shoulders here to hold it in place, so you can sort of get an Eddie Brock head in this sort of symbiote mess, which sort of works. And again, you could use that other head on here as well, just like so. See what I mean? That symbiote sludge really does just add to the whole transforming element of this head sculpt on this body if you wanted that for a display. Also, this new Venom head, of course, just plugs onto this body as well. And again, it sort of works for Venom. Again, his proportions are a little bit weird, so it just works. I don't know why, but yes, you can mix and match here and use the new heads on the old body. Another one with a sort of slightly open mouth. It's a pretty tight fit on the ball joint, but it does still allow you to give you great range and articulation because there's nothing sort of hindering the head joint. And then last one, here we have the tongue out with the green sludge on this new body. And if I zoom out just a little bit so you can see, again, it just really works. I really do appreciate having options here for all our Venoms between all the different head sculpts. You can definitely justify putting these in multiple spots on the collection. But this new body is definitely the best body for Venom. So I'd probably put the best Venom head on here and then use some of these Eddie Brock heads on the other bodies just to display Eddie Brock and give your collection and display in your shelf a little bit of variety. But yeah, you know me, I love options. And then real quick, just in case anyone doesn't have the Omega Red body, you can see how deep this sort of butterfly joint is, which allows you to get some really nice sort of jumping sort of poses. You've still got the double jointed elbow, however, it doesn't go too far because of how thick he is, but there is some nice sculpted sort of elements of symbioteness just on the forearm there. The spider design is on the back as well, again, not hindered by the butterfly joint as the design ends just before you get to it, which I really like. You've still got a nice, decent ab crunch as well, well, as you can see. You've got the swivel here at the waist as well. So again, that allows for decent articulation. You've got the thigh cut, the legs can go really high, double jointed knees, which work really well. He can basically kick his own back with a really solid ankle pivot and rocker as well. So all in all, you're going to get this guy into some great poses. Get yourself a flight stand maybe, so you can get him jumping or whatever you want. But yeah, he just works so nice for this Venom. He comes with two open palm sort of grabby hands as well, with the big clawy sort of nails on. But you do get a set of fisted hands, which I always appreciate for neutral poses or fighting poses. And yeah, this works really nice. So again, plenty of options here, but this is undoubtedly, undeniably, the best representation of comic Venom we have in our Marvel Legends collection. Tell me I'm wrong. Now, if this is the best Venom we have in Marvel Legends, then it's only right we size him up and compare him to the best Spider-Man in Marvel Legends. So for me, at least, it is the recent Renew Your Vows Spider-Man, and I think these two scale and look great together. Undoubtedly, these have got to be the centerpiece of anyone's Spider-Man collection. They look really, really nice, really, really clean. We just need a completely pinless Venom. That's the way you upgrade this, but I do think it is the right body choice they have in the library currently. But if this isn't your favorite Spider-Man, then maybe the 60th anniversary Spider-Man is. He scales just a little bit shorter and the colors are a little bit duller, but I still think these two look great together. People probably might prefer this setup, but always curious to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments, which Spider-Man do you reckon is the best matchup for this Venom? Is it the 60th anniversary, or is it the Renew Your Vows, or maybe something different? Next up, we have Riot, and we're going to try and speed through both Riot and Agony so we can see what the Life Foundation symbiote look like together, as these are basically repaints of other Marvel Legend bodies. Starting with Riot, he comes with his interchangeable blade effect piece, which makes sense. What doesn't make sense is that Riot's blue. If you look at the comic page, Riot is definitely grey. Now, there are some elements of different blues or greys here, but he is more blue than grey, which I don't like. I'm not the biggest fan of the Monster Venom body for Riot. Now, it's a great body. We've got it twice before. Once was the Monster Venom Build-A-Figure, which was the Matt Gargan style metallic purple. The second time was a single pack deluxe Monster Venom, which we have right here. So if you have either of those figures, you know what to expect in regards to stature, size, scale, articulation, all of that. It is a very nice body, which will undoubtedly look imposing and stand out compared to other figures. Maybe that's why they chose this for Riot, so he definitely is unique compared to the other figures, which are a lot smaller. But if I get the tape measure out, you can see that he is going to stand, if you stand him up all the way straight, at about 8 inches tall if you get him straightened up there. But again, it is a really nice looking body, definitely an imposing Venom monstrous body with the tentacles that sort of stick out here, and there's loads of sculpted in sort of tentacles and veins all over this body. He's got the two big open sort of grippy grabby hands, all the pointy toenails and fingers. We do get one interchangeable hand, which is this big imposing blade, which you literally, as I said, swap out for one of the hands. You can put it on both of the hands as well. It doesn't make a difference here. It's just a big thick blade done in the same blue sort of color as the body. And as we're zoomed in here, you can see that there are some different colors there mixed in the sculpt with all these veins and again these tentacle pieces that come off, especially over the back here as well. So yeah, all in all, it's a decent base body for a monstrous type of Venom character. I just think that the character Riot didn't need to be this big and imposing, and also he shouldn't be blue. At least for me. Maybe you can find a comic page where he is, but he's not my mind's eye, and that's what I try and recreate on my shelf. But he will stand out all the same. Moving on to Agony, who looks really nice as she utilises the Marvel Legends Shriek base body, but now in pink and purple. She comes with a set of fisted hands as well for options, but let me bring Shriek in here so you can see what I'm talking about. It is the exact same base body, but now with new hands, new feet as well, as she has the sort of claws on the feet and that new head sculpt, which adds a little bit of height. It also makes her very back heavy, so you definitely need to get your balance game on point to get her to stand. But let me move Shriek out the way. You know what to expect with that, and let me get the tape measure in here so you can see that the new head and the sort of hair, that symbiote style hair, bring it to about 6.5 inches tall. This is just going to make me wish we got Scream on this exact body, as she is looking very nice. Let's zoom in, taking a closer look at this sinister Agony face sculpt, where you can see both the mouth slit and the eyes are sculpted in there and then painted white to help them stand out on that dark purple, that dark purpleness does go off into strands into the hair as well, but only up top. The rest of the hair is this sort of purple plastic that is nicely newly sculpted with these strands kicking off it all the way down to this point here. And as you can see, it does sort of come away from the body, which allows you to have more articulation on this head than we usually would with females with long hair. So you can get a little bit of tilt there, more down than up, but there is articulation there, which complement the body, as you have the double jointed pinless elbows, which work so well here in the pink away from the purple. The clawed hands as well, we're going to swap them out in a second, all the way down to the body. Here you go from the pink to the purple, back down to the pink again, and then she has the clawed toes as well, which is different to the Shriek, of course. So yeah, all in all, we know what to get here. We know what to expect in regards to the range from the body. Really nice. Let's swap out these two clawed hands for the two fists. And to be honest, I'm probably always going to keep the clawed hands on here, but it is nice for options with the fisted hands for neutral looks or for punching people. But yeah, she definitely looks better with the claws. And just a quick note on all the paint here, it is nicely cleanly done with all the lines and everything, all the colours sort of overlapping each other. On the back as well, a little bit of pink. But other than that, it is very simple, but it is more accurate to Agony than Riot was compared to his comic comparison. But yeah, looking good. And before we look at the whole crew together, I did just want to take a moment to look at the only two females in the Life Foundation symbiotes, the sisters, if you will, as we have Agony and Scream with the yellows against the purples. And as you can see, both look really nice. Now, I do wish Scream was using this body as you would have the double jointed pinless knees and elbows. She has got the pinless elbows, but it is the single jointed female elbows. That's why they're pinless. She also has the thicker hands and definitely the longer hair with the red element on it as well. But both of these look really nice. As I said, the two female representations of the Life Foundation, the two female spawns of Venom, if you will. And yeah, they both look really nice together. I just wish that we had Scream on this body. That is definitely the disadvantage of waiting so long to complete teams, is that we have upgrades and enhancements in Marvel Legends that some of the older bodies and characters then miss out on. But as I said, you can see me struggling to balance here because the hairs are so big, but because of her better body, it is easily done. And let's be honest, this is what we are interested in seeing. Here we have the Marvel Legends Life Foundation symbiotes complete, and they are basically the Power Rangers of the symbiote world. Let's be honest, we've got Scream in the yellow, Lasher in the green, Agony in the purples and pink, Phage in the yellows and the golds, and then we have Riot, who should be in the grey but is more in the blue here, and they do look good together, undoubtedly. As I said, I don't think Riot needs to be this big. He is the bulkier out of all of them in the comics, but I do think the Monster Venom body was a little bit too big, but still, he does still look great compared to them all, as I knew he would for a display. So if you get them all posed up like this on display, they undoubtedly look like the Life Foundation symbiotes and look really good. So for anyone who doesn't know anything about the Life Foundation, they are the children of Venom, essentially, reluctant children all the same. So let me explain. The Life Foundation were a collective of scientists with wealthy clients who wanted to create a future utopian society in case of nuclear war. To protect this, they created 5 symbiotes that were forcefully extracted from Venom, creating 5 spawn that were artificially aged up to maturity. They were Agony, Phage, Riot, Lasher, and Scream, creating in figure form the Life Foundation symbiotes, which, as I said, look really good. You let me know in the comments below, are you going to create this team in plastic? It is really nice to complete teams, especially one that look this good. Now I need to find a place for them on the shelf. And before I break up this little pose I've got going on, I did want to bring in both Venom and Carnage, probably the two most well-known symbiotes within the Marvel Universe, just so we could have a little symbiote party on the table to see how they look all posed up together. And as I expected, undoubtedly they look great. So here we have the Venom that we were looking at today in this very free pack, easily the best Venom we have in Marvel Legends. And then for me personally, this is the best Carnage, the one that's got all the sculpted details all over him. And yeah, as I said, these look great. Definitely need to display them on the shelf, probably just like this. So look out for that in a future collection video for sure. I also wanted to put these in a lineup style comparison, just so we could see their different scales and how they size close up proportionally next to each other, as each one of these is on a completely different base Marvel Legend body. Now, by no means is any of these perfect. I reckon Agony is probably the closest to it, as she utilizes the brand new double jointed pinless Shriek Marvel Legend body, and for example Phage is still on the old Bucky Cat body. So yes, they are all unique and look different, and I do like them as a whole. As a display together, they do look great, but far from perfect. Definitely some upgrades could be here and there, and it is the disadvantage of a team being released so far apart from each other, as that some of them are better than others. But overall, as a unit, I still like them. Now, I'm not going to go crazy with comparisons because, of course, the Life Foundation symbiotes are all different Marvel Legend bodies within themselves. But, of course, we need to see what Spider-Man looks like compared to the new figures with Agony and Riot here. So this is a Renew Your Vows Spider-Man, or maybe you prefer the 60th anniversary Spider-Man. Both of them look great. And, of course, here we have Venom, Agony and Riot compared to Frogman, Tigra and White Rabbit lingering in the background. And then last but never least, here we have Captain Britain and Hal, Fire, Hank. So, final thoughts on this Marvel Legends 3-pack with Venom, Agony and Riot. Now, I've said it many times before, I've probably already said it in this video, but you know me, I am all about world building, adding brand new characters to our Marvel Legends collection, forever expanding the Marvel universe in plastic through our displays, and that's exactly what this 3-pack allows, as it adds it for the first time in figure form, in Legends form, Riot and Agony to complete the Life Foundation symbiotes, which do make a very nice setup. Now, are they perfect? No, of course not. There's definitely a few tweaks that I would personally make for my mind's eye. Riot should be more grey than blue. He probably didn't need to be on that big body, but in plastic, in figure form, it sort of makes sense for him to sort of stand out a little bit more to the other figures. And as a display themselves, they undoubtedly look great. Even a casual Marvel Legends fan or Marvel fan would be able to point out the Life Foundation symbiote, because they're just colourful and they just look great for display. And after all, isn't that what we're trying to do? Just make great displays. And they also just happen to pack in, just casually, the best Marvel Legends Venom we've ever gotten, with two amazing head sculpts. Like, they really are. So if you, like me, have already got many Venoms in your collection, then the amount of heads and accessories we have now do allow you to sort of mix and match and create different versions and have a little bit of variety on a display. So I am very happy, and I'm sure I'm rambling at this point, as I've said plenty, but you let me know what you think of this 3-pack in the comments below. And if you like Marvel Legends, and it's no secret, people, you are in the right place. Check out the videos tab on the playlist, but most importantly, please hit that subscribe button, hit all on the notification bell, don't miss out on a video, and make sure you hit that join button. Become a channel member, either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Come and get involved in the madness of the channel, talking legends and toys and all that good stuff. You can find me on Instagram at It's Dan Who, and I'm on Twitter as well. Don't be shy, tweet me at Dan Who Reviews. And until then, my name is Dan W, and I'll of course see you on the next one.